Welcome, lords and ladies, to another presentation of the Kenyon Sports Connection. We are joined here by second-year head coach as we begin the first edition of the 2013 version of the Chris Monfiletto Show. Coach, welcome to the show. It's your own, so really it should become a place of security for you on a weekly basis. We can talk about the team, talk about the players, and more importantly, talk about this upcoming week going into Allegheny. We're taking an approach because it's a little unfair that you haven't played a game and yet we're throwing you on the spot to lead us off here. But as you look out over what you accomplished through the postseason, or the preseason, excuse me, how do you feel that the guys have responded to what you've introduced them to?
I think they're doing well. I mean, we're hopefully getting better every day. I mean, we're in a process now where we have to string 2 and 3 good practices together. You know, and that happened at times during the preseason, but with 18 practices in a 2-week period kind of right at each other, it's difficult to do that. But now that we're in game week, we have mostly everybody healthy, which is a good sign going into the first week, which is great.
And when you look at the progress that they made from day one of the preseason to where they stand today, how are you pleased with the way that they've shown for themselves, have shown for their teammates, and played for you as well?
Well, they're holding each other accountable, which didn't happen in the second practice of the season. And we kind of had a period there where the coaches didn't say a word, and we just kind of wanted to see what the players said. And, in the beginning, there was a lot of walking on the field and stuff like that, and in between drills, and that's just stuff that can't be tolerated, and it's not good enough if we don't tolerate it. It has to be intolerable for the players. And so, that's really improved over the course of the past 2.5 weeks, and people are holding each other accountable the right way, which is good to see. I mean, the practices should run themselves, and that's getting to the point that we're at right now.
At the time that we filmed our season preview about a week or so ago, you had made mention that there were probably the most question marks along the offense just by virtue of graduating a lot of players in a lot of key positions. Are you beginning to see some of the individuals that are emerging to fill those holes?
Yeah, certainly. There's people that have definitely stepped up. There's still a lot of questions that we have, and I don't know that those questions are going to be answered until we actually play somebody else other than ourselves. But it's exciting. I'm really confident with the guys that we have there in those positions right now, but a lot of them are new, so we'll see.
And given that they are new, they are taking in, a new playbook, a new strategy, a new philosophy. Do you think that they're grasping that pretty well, especially considering that they've only had a couple weeks to work with it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, the one indicator for me is that they ask a lot of questions, which is good. They've been coming down and voluntarily watching film and stuff like that, and that's all good to see.
Second-year head coach Chris Monfiletto joining us on the Chris Monfiletto Show, first edition of 2013. Now, defensively, it seemed that you were a little bit more confident, again, just by virtue of bringing back more guys from last year's team. What do you think has impressed you most about that group?
Well, we had, when we voted for captains, there were a lot of guys that got voted for captain on the defensive side of the ball, and that's that was the most impressive thing to me. Those guys, they play hard every day. They practice with a ton of effort. They're really smart, and that's been the most impressive thing. But I think when the whole team recognizes that there's a lot of leaders on the defensive side of the ball, that's a pretty good sign that we should be solid defensively.
And you mentioned those team captains. Can you run down those guys for us that will be leading the squad, and perhaps some of the qualities that you noticed that the team also took into consideration that led to their nomination?
Yeah, David Brackett, first, we're really excited about the 3 guys that were voted captains by our players. And, if the coaches had a vote, which we didn't, I think we would have probably gone the same way. And David Brackett was a returning captain. He was captain his junior year. We opened up the voting again, and he got voted again captain his senior year. And I think that says a lot about his leadership ability. And he's not a guy that's a rah-rah guy at all. But if you're doing something wrong, he's going to tell you, and he's going to demand more of you every single time that you're out there. And that's what's so important to us on the offensive side of the ball with David. And on the defensive side of the ball, Reed Franklin was voted captain. And he is not the most vocal guy in the world. He'll kind of pull you aside and teach you what you need to know and stuff like that. But he's also a guy that went from his freshman year, he was hand cleaning like 225 pounds, and now he can do 340 for 1 rep. And that's how hard he works, and people recognize that, and that's really important. And the third is Sam McQuiston, who is really special to us as a team. And he's not a guy that starts. He plays on every single special teams. But from his work ethic and his demeanor every day of practice, the team thought enough of him to vote him a captain. that, we're really proud about all three of those guys. They're really important to us, and they really represent all three facets of the football game, which is, equally important to us.
Now, on a lighter note, every team, especially those that are introducing a new set of freshmen in the fall, have an array of team-building activities just to help break the ice. Can you share with us maybe your favorite activity, one that's been most effective, or even one that sports a little bit of humor too?
We have some team-building activities. They don't necessarily involve the freshmen individually. But we had a talent show, and we saw that a couple of those guys have some talent and a couple of them don't. And the one thing that they're really good at is impersonating Coach Sorrells. So that was good to see at the talent show. I mean, you don't impersonate someone unless you really care about them, and it was neat to see.
And now back to business. It is game week after all, and Allegheny sits there in Meadville, Pennsylvania, awaiting you for this Saturday's game in the season opener. What is the key to making a statement on the road, considering that it is a conference opener as well?
I mean, we have to play with a lot of effort, and we have to demonstrate improvement through the 4 quarters of the game. I mean, the first game of the season, you never know what's going to happen. You really don't. The thing that we do know is that Allegheny's going to really want to win the game. It's their home opener. It's a conference game. They're really well coached, and they're a really tough team, and that's what we know. When we get there on Saturday, we have to do our best and play our best at every position. And if we make a mistake, don't repeat it.
Now, you've been able to look out over the practice field, and you're a couple days away from game day. Tell us how badly the guys are chomping at the bit to get onto the field in a game situation.
Yeah, they're excited. I mean, we didn't have a scrimmage against anybody else, and that was because of numbers and various other reasons. But to play somebody else, especially a conference opponent, and especially a conference opponent that we really, really respect, is exciting, I think, for everybody, and especially for the seniors. I mean, they have 10 guaranteed opportunities now to play football for the rest of their lives, and that's something that they value every single minute that they get to play the game. So.
Now, you mentioned making improvement over the 4 quarters of this Saturday's game, but what other keys to victory may lead the Lords to success this weekend against Allegheny?
Well, we have to have 2 more good days of practice and a really solid walkthrough, so we're mentally prepared to play. And then we have to have a safe trip and everything go well with the travel plans. And that's not going to guarantee victory or anything like that. But if we play hard and we improve throughout the course of this week, then we can put ourselves in the best possible chance to do that.
Even begins with things as simple as the travel plans. All things got to go right. Boys got to eat well and get plenty of rest. So, Coach, going into this weekend, we wish you the best of luck. That first game is against Allegheny College this Saturday at 1 p.m. That will be the season opener, the conference opener, and hopefully the opener to a lot more wins this season. This is second-year coach Chris Monfiletto joining us for the opening edition of the Chris Monfiletto Show. Again, good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.